Walking Wake is a paradox Pokemon that hasn't been legal yet in VGC, but with the new regulation, it is most likely speculated that it will be legal, and it is a very powerful threat, especially with Whimsicott, a new prankster Pokemon with Sunny Day, Cotton Spore, really crazy options with the recent second part of the DLC released. This dude can go really strong in the upcoming format. Let's see how well it performs. This team is all about Tailwind and Sunny Day, as Whimsicott here is providing that a new Pokemon from the second part of the DLC that allows you to have that Tailwind Sunny Day option like Torn with the Prankster, but Cotton Spore for extra speed control in the Tailwind mirrors is very, very crucial. Alongside, you have partners such as the special attack booster Fluttermane with the choice specs that's able to do so much damage in Sun, the Walking Wake with that speed booster that's able to do a lot, especially with Hydro Steam, with it being the only water type move that is boosted in Sun, which is absolutely crazy, as well as really strong coverage options. You have then the choice band Entei, which can get flinched or potentially just intimidated from Incineroars running around, and does really heavy damage in Sun, especially next to a Sword of Ruin Xianpao. Xianpao being nice on the team, it's a very fast mon with that Focus Sash, is able to threaten heavy amounts of damage, especially with that Entei as a duo. And then finally we have the Metagross, which helps out as a option against Fluttermane, a really good option into the expanding for size spam stuff, and is a pretty good tank that can pressure screens with that Psychic Fangs that it got in this generation. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Ninetales, Archaludon. I don't know how to pronounce that Pokemon's name. I've already given up like comments no matter what. It seems like I can't do it wrong or do it right. We have Indeedee, Hatterene, Incineroar, and the Primarina. Incineroar on Size Spam team's interesting, but all right. Primarina, I think it's a cool mod. I wish they gave it Skull. It still gets Water Pledge as an accurate solo water move, but hey, Metagross is actually probably going to be the MVP here, and Wake definitely can be. I have quite a few options here. Entei isn't bad. I like Whimsicott a lot just because Sunny Day pressure is really strong. I actually think I don't even mind leading Whimsicott plus Fluttermane just for like really, really heavy damage against them. And then in the back, Wake isn't too bad. I gotta watch out for Primarina, but the Metagross is really strong here. And I do want something that helps against Incineroar, and probably the best mon is Wake here on that team. So yeah, let's try it out. We also have the Xianpao. Yes, I could use the Xianpao, but I don't really feel like it's necessary at all, because they already have a lot of, like, I don't think I really fear the Psychic type moves just because I have the Assault Vest Metagross on deck. And we're going to see the Hail mode instead, or the Snow mode. We're going to see the Ninetales Incineroar, which I'm not too surprised about. And this ends up working out beautifully because I have the Covert Cloak on the Fluttermane. So all I have to do is just go for a Dazzling Gleam, just get a bunch of damage off across the board, deny this Ninetales of ever setting up an Auroraville, and just super strong Dazzling Gleam coming out. So don't see a reason not to go for it. We will go for the Sunny Day, and we will go for a Dazzling Gleam. I'm not going to go for any Terras. I don't really see a point of going for the Terra immediately. We're going to get a Sunny Day. They didn't fake out in case of a Covert Cloak, which is smart on them. I wonder if I can knock out the Incineroar, but I have no idea if this is an Assault Vest Incineroar or not. Dazzling Gleam going to be fired off into my opponent. Pretty big damage across the board. They did try to Aurora Veil, which is nice. And let's see what the Incineroar went for. It is going to be, Flabus is going to come out, target down. My Fluttermane does pick up the knockout because I did set up the Sun. But realistically, like, I was fine with letting the Fluttermane go down. I just get a free switch to my Wake now, I'm pretty sure, and I get to click Moonblast and a... Yeah, I just get to click Moonblast and a Ninetales, and I'm pretty sure Hydro Steam should just finish off the Incineroar. And once I get Incineroar, I just don't see how, again, there being a Metagross. So that was the goal here. Protosynthesis, we'll get a Speed Booster. We'll go for a Moonblast into the Ninetales. We'll go for the Hydro Steam into the Incineroar. And as long as we don't miss, we're in a pretty dang good position. So I'm trying to figure out how they reposition. They could go Primarina here, but Primarina, like, I don't think it would be like the most comfortable with taking the attack. So I'm completely fine here. A Hydro Steam does get fired off into the Incineroar, does pick up the knockout. Even though it is a water type move, just getting that power into Sun. Let's see what they decide to bring out next. Like, if it's Indeedee and it's Hatterene in the back, I think they're absolutely screwed against Metagross. Like, I think Metagross will just eat them alive. But we'll see. Maybe they have... Hatterene needs something like Mystical Fire. Does it get? No, it doesn't even get Mystical Fire anymore. No, does it? I don't even remember. We're gonna see Arcaludon. Again, so much I don't know how to pronounce that mon. Just a Moonblast is pretty safe here into the Ninetales. The question is what do I want to do with you? I could Draco Meteor, I could Flamethrower here. I think I like the Flamethrower quite a bit. Terrafire, Flamethrower, and Sun seems really strong. You know what? Let's go for it. I didn't plan on tearing the Metagross anyway, so I might as well just go for the full-on power I can possibly obtain. And in case something goes wrong, like, might as well just get that boost. So here comes the Terrafire. And let's see how much damage we're going to do. Hopefully just break through immediately. It also helps out against Primarina because it can't do much damage to me in the sun. So we will get a Flamethrower off. Let's see if this picks up the knockout or if this is Assault Vest and decently bulky. It is just gonzo. It is just gonzo. That did not stand a chance. Life Orb, Flamethrower in the sun. That's not special attack booster. Here goes a Moonblast into the Ninetales. A critical hit, but I don't think it really mattered. Like, the Ninetales was pretty low at that point. Moonblast is decently strong. It does have decent speed def, but I'm pretty sure Moonblast would be doing at least 20% there. Primarina is going to be revealed as the last, but at this point with the Metagross and Sun, we have Whimsicott still around. We can go for Moonblast. We can go for... what does more damage at this point? Hydro Steam or Flamethrower? I mean, they're both kind of resisted. I think Flamethrower does more, so I'll just do Flamethrower. We're going to see... Terra. Interesting, because like they're not in a dangerous position unless they think I have Energy Ball. Terra Electric. Well, this is getting blown up by a Flamethrower. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe does a KO. Let's see its damage output. Oh my goodness, that critical hit just blowing up the Primarina. Goodbye, Primarina. Did not stand a chance. So it didn't bring the size spam mode. Again, I had Metagross and I had a Shein-Pal with potential Ice Spinner. I did not think they were going to go with that. Maybe they could bring one of the two, but I think it was just going to be for the Trick Room more than the actual like size spam itself, because it was again really weak against my team overall. Thought that they might try to go to snow mode, but this team just has really good answers. I think the Sunny Day just made it really positive and was able to blow up their team. Incineroar, Rillaboom, Golden Go, Farigiraf, or Shifu, Fluttermane. All right, so I'm pretty sure it'd probably be a choice scar for a Shifu based on this team. Incineroar, Rillaboom, Golden Go, probably Nasty Plot, Golden Go. The Fluttermane, not too sure. Might be Specs, maybe Speed Booster for some speed control. Let's see how do I want to approach this, because they do have some scary factors. I do really like Walking Wake into this team. They don't exactly have the best Walking Wake answers other than like a Fluttermane, and I do have some pretty okay answers in a Fluttermane. I believe that Whimsicott's really strong here as a lead for the Tailwind, as well as just setting up the Sunny Day for the Wake here, which I do. And I think Entei is really good against the Incineroar Rillaboom core, especially under the sun. And it does throw in the Golden Go. Last Pokemon, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. I don't really like Shein-Pal too much. Metagross is okay. It's not amazing. Fluttermane ain't too bad. I'm thinking Metagross just as another backup answer to... I think Metagross is probably like the best one I'm trying to figure out, because I don't really like Shein-Pal in this matchup. Fluttermane can put in work, but the Grassy Glide is always pressuring. I think I'm going to try out Metagross here. If it's Darker Shifu, that's the only Pokemon that where it's like, oh, I'd probably not want Metagross in retrospect. But I think there should be Water Shifu on this team. Their team does look pretty weak to like Incineroar if they don't have a Water type move, I'd say. So, or at least like the Water Shifu over the Darker Shifu. Let's see, Farigiraf and Incineroar lead, which is a-okay by me. I will lead my Whimsicott and the Roaring Wake right here, and I just don't see a reason why I wouldn't just go for... I have a few plays I could go for. I think I just want to go for a Moonblast immediately and get some damage off. Yeah, I'm going to Moonblast and get some immediate damage off into the Farigiraf, and I'm just going to go for the Hydro Steam into the Incineroar. If they go for Fake Out, it's probably Fake Out into the Wake, but we're going to see a Terra immediately from the Incineroar, which is not what I expected. Going to be the Terra Dragon immediately, which I guess they wanted a parting shot instead of a Fake Out. No, they went for Fake Out into the Whimsicott. I guess. I do have the Cover Cloak, so I avoid it. I do get the Moonblast off into Farigiraf. I go for the Hydro Steam for some damage into the Incineroar, which isn't going to do much, but sure, they could tear the Incineroar, but at the end of the day, like, I'm okay with that trade. If I get rid of the Incineroar, Metagross looks really good under the Trick Room right here. So I don't really need Sunny Day here. I could go into Entei. I think Entei is a pretty good call. And just going to go for a Draco Meteor into the Incineroar slot. I don't think the Wake will go down to any combination of attacks. We could see... I don't know what he would go for with Incineroar. Maybe a Flare Blitz here. Maybe you go for the Parting Shot into the Wake. But if you go for Parting Shot in the Wake, what do you bring out exactly? Because nothing's really good against Entei. Like Golden Gold Rillaboom maybe is your back. And Urshifu doesn't want to take a Draco Meteor. So feel pretty safe here. Regardless, just going to try to stall out the Trick Room. I did get some decent damage onto the Giraffe. We bring out the Entei. A Dazzling Gleam. Sure. That actually did a bit more damage than I expected to Wake. But I'm still able to tank the attack just fine. Flare Blitz comes out. Yep, I'll definitely be able to take this one. Yep. And should be able to pick up the KO here into the Incineroar with the Draco Meteor, which, yep, okay. Perfect. So Incineroar goes down as well as their Terra option. I did take a little bit of damage with the Entei, but I still think it's probably worth it overall. But we'll see what the remainder is. The Dazzling Gleam from this Farigiraf. Golden Go could come out, I guess, for like really strong spread damage pressure. Shadow Ball is also pretty scary that I have to deal with. So it's not an over game by far. Urshifu coming in, though, is definitely not what I expected. Okay. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't just go Whimsicott, and I'd also want to double out actually into Metagross. This is probably Dazzling Gleam Surging Strikes coming out. If they want a close combat, fine. Like, the reason I brought Metagross is to put on pressure against this kind of board position where I'm under Trick Room against a Giraffe and like the Incineroar is gone, so I don't have to worry about an Incineroar ever coming in to take an attack and then address him with a Flare Blitz under the sun. So bring out the Metagross and the Whimsicott. Or I see Aquajet going to come out that was targeting the Entei, sure. And Dazzling Gleam? Yeah, once again, perfectly acceptable. They were trying to pick up a double knockout here. It doesn't work out for them. Gonna just Sunny Day here and trying to figure out what I want to do. Probably hard press to Farigiraf. No, I want to target down to Urshifu. I'm gonna go for Psychic Fangs because if I put their Urshifu, if I get chip in Urshifu, it can't switch in anymore, which is still pretty valuable. Like it can't switch in on Flamethrower, it can't switch in Hydro Steam. For Farigiraf, I can still take on okay-ishly well. I wonder what the item on the Urshifu is, if it's like locked into anything with like a Choice Scarf or not, because that's actually going to be a pretty big deal. The only thing is I have to worry about, I think, in the remainder of the game is do they get another Trick Room up again? They actually go for Detect, which is fine. I just get a free Sunny Day with my Whimsicott, so I am going to be able to basically water Urshifu the next turn. Dazzling Gleam going to be fired off again into the Whimsicott, but yeah, just not able to do that much. Psychic Fangs into the Urshifu. I do want damage starting to build up on the Giraffe because I can't Extreme Speed in this endgame currently. I think I'm going to go for... I'm going to Tailwind here, actually. And... I think Tailwind and Psychic Fangs is fine into their Urshifu. They're going to switch out Urshifu, which is fine. Whatever's coming in is all right. It's going to be the real... Okay. This Tailwind was then a bad play. Actually, no, it's fine because I still have an Entei with Choice Band Sacred Fire, so I can still threaten knockouts. Okay, this is still pretty acceptable. We do get the Tailwind up. Like, I just don't see how to break into Metagross right now. They're going to get a Dazzling Gleam, finish off my Whimsicott, but I am getting Grassy Terrain healing. I'm also getting a Psychic Fangs off into the Rillaboom, which is pretty solid overall. Just got to make sure I handle the Urshifu before Sun wears off, which is the big one. Gonna bring out the Entei and just click a Choice Band Sacred Fire, which is really strong here. And then, yeah, I don't see what they're doing afterwards, so bring out the Entei. I do have Terra. I don't really feel like I need the Terra. Sacred Fire, I think I want to go greedy here and not go for Flare Blitz because I'd rather have the HP. Or do I? Do I need the HP? I mean, it also punishes an Urshifu switch, which I think is pretty valuable. So yeah, I'm actually just gonna go for a Psychic Fangs into the Rillaboom and the Sacred Fire. I could double up the Ferrograph if I don't expect Protect, but I still think it's fine. They fake out. Oh, they don't know about Inner Focus, do they? I do get the Sacred Fire off into the Ferrograph. Does pick up the knockout right there, so Ferrograph is gone. Yeah, you can fake out these Inner Focus mons. Remember, like, even though Inner Focus does block Intimidate, it also blocks flinching. Or the ability, it prevents me from flinching, so that's just really good. I think that's just game over at this point. I don't see how they're stopping me now at this rate. I guess they could with, like, I guess some misses. I am gonna go for a Psychic or a Sacred Fire into Urshifu. I'm gonna Bullet Punch the Rillaboom because, like, again, the Urshifu can't really do much here. I don't really need to hit the like, if I miss Sacred Fire on Rillaboom, Urshifu protects, and I went for Psychic Fangs and Urshifu, then, like, Urshifu could get a really powerful close combat off for free while I didn't take a knockout, which means that Rillaboom could actually, you know, do something. So I might as well just go for this Bullet Punch play into the Rillaboom because I imagine it's most likely Assault Vest, and then I could take care of the Urshifu because can't really do much right now on the field. So Bullet Punch, no protects, okay. I do get a Rillaboom, nice. And I just get a free Sacred Fire into Urshifu. Maybe get that burn, we'll see. Or we just miss, okay. Oh no, just that, like, that does so much damage. That's a critical hit. Okay, that explains why. And we get the burn, so yeah, the game is 100% over at this point. 30 Strike's gonna come out into the Entei, but with that burn, like, even if let's say I didn't burn Psychic Fangs, and as long as I hit one of Draco Meteor, I think I'm pretty much in a cruising position. Like, I think, like, if the Urshifu is not max speed, and it probably isn't, I'd still be able to, like, as long as I hit 1 out of 2 Draco Meteors, I'd be able to finish off the Urshifu, or I could realistically just, like, Flamethrower or Hydro Steam, depending on position. Now you just guarantee the win by switching out to Wake, going for a Psychic Fangs, and the game is over. Because I can extreme speed cleanup and guarantee the Urshifu win, unless they get like 8 protects in a row, and even then, like, they probably go down the struggle at that point, or to burn because they're super low. So yeah, there wasn't really much that they could do. But Terra Giant Incineroar, didn't really mind because all I had to do was use my Wake to get rid of that, and then Metagross was just so hard for my opponent to handle afterwards. Hatterene, Fluttermane, Entity, Torkoal, Iron Hands, and Venusaur, a Sun Trick Room team, which is not too surprising. I do actually really like quite a few factors. I actually really like Walking Wake here because it can put on a lot of pressure against basically their entire team if the sun is up, so that's actually pretty nice. Metagross isn't too bad. Entei is pretty solid. I really do like Entei here. It just does so much damage. I'm trying to figure out if I'm bringing Xianpao as a lead because I don't have Ice Spinner, which would be really helpful for the terrain, but it's not necessary, I suppose. Entei, I don't think, can pick up a knockout into the Entity with Choice Band Flare Blitz, so that's a little bit concerning here. I want to lead someone that's neutral in the Torkoal, Venusaur, and Entity Hatterene. I'm not sure if I really have the safest option. Fluttermane doesn't help me here. It would probably be some combination of, maybe it is Metagross lead here. I think it's I think it is Metagross lead. I want to lead Metagross and the Walking Wake, I think, and then in the back I want to have Entei and do I want Xianpao? Xianpao actually has Protect, which is like the one reason I think it's actually worth it, because stalling out Trick Room turns when I don't exactly have a guaranteed way of preventing it, I think is like really crucial here. So let us see how this is gonna perform. I like the idea of stalling it out a little bit with the Metagross having some idea, especially next to the Entei that could threaten a lot. Ooh, we're gonna see Torkoal Venusaur lead immediately, which is not what I expected, but I think this might work out for me as I do get the Protosynthesis with the Walking Wake immediately, so not too bad. All right, I do get my speed boost here. Not gonna matter because Venusaur does have that Chlorophyll option, but not terrible. I also have Terra Dragon on my Metagross, so I actually think my best play is to go for a Psychic Fangs into the Venusaur slot and just go for Protect with Walking Wake. And I think this is a pretty solid decision overall, because the Terra Dragon Assault Vest Metagross is going to go crazy in this, allowing me to tank the eruption from the Torkoal with that Assault Vest, bring the Venusaur down to most likely the Focus Sash. I can Bullet Punch it, threats in the next turn, and then go for the Hydro Steam and the Torkoal. Granted, there could be an Entity switch specifically for the Torkoal slot, but then I burn a turn of sleep, and I don't think it's too bad because they don't exactly have the best offensive presence, so I don't think it'd be awful, but we'll find out. We will protect our Walking Wake. I imagine Sleep Powder is going into that Walking Wake slot, as, yep, I am correct there on that mark. And we do get the Psychic Fangs off into the Venusaur. So that's pretty important damage. I actually picked up the knockout. Oh, wait, that's pretty big. It's not Focus Sash. What's Focus Sash on this team then? That's not Venusaur. They go for a Yawn in the Metagross, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Very, very happy about that turn. I am very, very happy about that turn. We're going to see Entity come in. Yeah, Entity is going to come in. I'm okay with trading Metagross going to sleep if I can get rid of like any Trick Room option that they have here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the hard press into the Entity slot. And I'm also going to go for the Hydro Steam as well into that Entity slot as well. Because I'm not really worried about like Torkoal's damage output here. And if it's Yawn, like it's going to be playing pretty passive. Sure. So I do get the Hydro Steam. No Protect from the Torkoal, as huge amount of damage to that Entity. Look at that beautiful damage as we are able to get rid of the Entity here with the hard press. I think this should pick up. Oh, I misjudged how much damage that would do because I forgot it's HP based. I guess I should have went for Stomping. Would Stomping have even gotten at that range? I have no clue. We will start falling asleep, but I mean, the Torkoal can't really do that much damage currently on the field, which I think is important. I think my best play is just to switch out the Walking Wake to preserve it, and I guess we're going to start going for the Stomping Tantrum into that Torkoal slot. I'm going to hard switch into Entei because Entei can actually switch into Torkoal decently well, and then we have to stall out the Trick Room turns. It's only 4 turns of Trick Room, which isn't too bad with my opponent being really weakened. And I don't have like, oh wow, they're just, I mean, sure, you could waste your turns of Trick Room by keep going for the Yawn pressure, but like, you're not really accomplishing much. Yeah, you get a Dazzling Gleam off, but like, yeah, having a Salvus Metagross, the Entei took it really well. Not really much I could say here. I would like Entei still around because it could just one-shot the Hattery most likely, so I think this is probably the play of just going back into, do I want to go Xianpao here? Xianpao's not a bad sack. I just don't know if they're going to actually go for a Dazzling Gleam Heat Wave this time around, which I think would be fine. I'd rather have Xianpao take the damage than the Walking Wake personally. So, you know what? I'm going to go... Oh, not for the Metagross slot. I do want to go for Stomping Tantrum. I am going to go for it into the Torkoal slot, and I will go out into the Xianpao on this slot. And I don't have to worry about their physical attackers if I wake up and they go for Yawn again. It's actually really nice. So regardless, like I think this is pretty solid right here. Get the Sword of Ruin off. Let's see, gonna be Earth Power. Okay, Xianpao's able to take this. Do we live Dazzling Gleam? I think we do. No special defense drops, so we should. Yep, perfect. And we're still gonna be asleep, but that's completely acceptable at this point. Like, Sun turns are kind of wearing down. Yeah, it's late the last turn of Sun, Psychic Terrain, Trick Room. Like, I just don't see how to really get out of this because I don't want to Stomping Tantrum that slot. I want to target the Torkoal slot. I'm going to protect the Xianpao to stall out Trick Room. I'll probably sack the Xianpao in the end game and just try to bring out like a free switch into Entei probably and just throw off some really heavy damage. They go for a Heat Wave. So this is going to do some pretty impressive damage. I wonder if they don't even have Eruption at this point because like they just have not clicked Eruption at all. Can't get burned thankfully because I am asleep currently. So that's nice. As they do go for Dazzling Gleam. Metagross again, able to take that really well. 3 turns of sleep is a bit unfortunate, but like it's whatever really. Sun fades, so their Heat Wave is doing less damage. I think my best play is just Stomping Tantrum to Torkoal slot, and I actually want to, you know what? I should save Xianpao just in case, and I'll just go hard into Entei now. Because if they go for a Yawn, then I still think it's all right. They're gonna switch out the Entity slot, all right, into the Hatterene. Yeah, Hatterene's fine. Okay, so they want to keep Psychic Terrain, which makes a lot of sense. But I have hard press on the Metagross. That puts on a lot of pressure against the Hatterene, so I don't think it's like too bad. So we're going to see my Entei come in. As Heat Wave going to come out, do an okay amount of damage, but really it's just not doing too much. I finally am guaranteed to wake up here, get the Stomping Tantrum off into the Torkoal slot. That's a lot of damage, actually. Wow. That wasn't even a critical hit. That's just a lot of damage. And a Citrus Berry. All right. As Trick Room fades to normal, Psychic Terrain disappears. I wonder if this is Terra Fire on the Hatterene. I'm just going to go for Stomping Tantrum, and I'm actually going to go for a Flare Blitz into the Hatterene slot, because I imagine if there's like, I guess it could be like Terra Water too, but I don't think it's too bad. We are going to see the Terra on the Hatterene. Going to be Terra Steel. What are you doing? I guess they thought I was just going to KO the Torkoal with the Entei and just go for a hard press in the Hatterene, but like, I know that your only defensive really option is going to be that Hatterene, so I'm trying to cover for it. I think Terra Water is not really existent anymore, so yeah, just go for Flare. It's like the only one, maybe Terra Dragon, but yeah, we are able to KO the Hatterene. Beautiful with that Choice Band Flare Blitz. Excellent. And then we are going to fail the Stomping Tantrum into the Torkoal. I just went for the Flare Blitz Stomping Tantrum because I felt like the most likely option would have been like Terra Fire potentially there, and it just worked out. So beautiful. Like, even if I didn't get the KO, it could be a little bit tricky playing around the Entity, but I still think with Xian Pao I can potentially stall out that Trick Room. But yeah, I did have to get the Terra right, and I did. So like, yeah, the game's over. So I can just go for Stomping Tantrum and the Torkoal. I can go for Flare Blitz and Entity. The game is 100% a wrap. And beautiful. Assault Vest Entei or Assault Vest Metagross really showcasing how strong it can be, as well as the Entei that did do a good amount of work in that endgame. Okidogi, Roy Moon, Primarina, Incineroar, the Houndstone, and Tyranitar. Okay, Sand is pretty unique here. Trying to figure out what I want to exactly position. Primarina is pretty scary, but if I handle it well, like the rest of my team goes crazy against the team. Tailwind especially. I think I want the Whimsicott, and I want to say I just like the... I want to say I do like the Roaring Wake here. I could lead Fluttermane, but I feel like the problem is Fluttermane's too obvious as a lead, and I'm not exactly too sure if I... Like, Fluttermane's really good against this team. I think it could be really good in an end game cleaner more than like a lead, because if I lead it, it's fragile, it just gets Okoda, and then like sure, I wasted my slot there. So I think I want to have, I want Entame back. It's not too bad. I like Fluttermane a lot here, and I mean a lot. The question is the last slot. Metagross is kind of okay. Bullet Punch Pressure, I suppose. Psychic Fangs, it's good against the Primarinas to switch. Xian Pao puts on a decent amount of pressure, especially the Tyranitar. Entei, it's just Entei. It's really solid. I kind of like Entei more, but Xian Pao wouldn't have been too bad. The only thing is I'm a little bit skeptical about like what that Houndstone set is. Like, Houndstone's a really scary Pokemon if it sets up, just because the Last Respects is such a broken move. It's such a broken move with Sand. It could be like Wisp too on the Houndstone. So if I even try to go with Xian Pao against it, like I could just end up getting a Wisp, and then like, oh, I can't do anything to it if I'm trying to Sucker Punch it to make sure I don't get, you know, Last Suspected. Also hurts my other slots. So firstly, the Houndstone Roaring Moon lead. You know what? I would have really liked leading my... I would have just really liked leading my Fluttermane here, but sure, okay. Because I could just Terra Fairy Sunny Day probably. Speed Booster on the Roaring Moon, which is acceptable here. I kind of want a Sunny Day immediately, but I could also just Tailwind. I like the idea of just Sunny Day immediately, I think, and go for a Hydro Steam into the Houndstone. I think is pretty solid, because if they Tailwind, I don't know how fast Houndstone is. It's not like crazy fast, if I'm not mistaken. I think Speed Booster on the... I think with Speed Booster, I should be able to outspeed the Houndstone. I might be wrong here. But I like the idea of trying out a Sunny Day first and just seeing how well it performs, because if they get Tailwind up and they don't knock on my Whimsicott, I am able to just pressure the next turn. We are going to see a Terra from the Roaring Moon, which I'm not too surprised about. This might be just a defensive Terra to avoid taking a Moonblast turn 1. And, oh, Terra Flying. That means it's offensive, which that's not promising, actually. That's going to do a lot. I do get the Sunny Day off. Photosynthesis will activate. All right, what's coming out here? Gonna be okay. No, they did just Tailwind. Okay, so it was a defensive Terra here, which ends up working out because I get another turn of Tailwind for free. I am faster than the Houndstone still, so yeah, I'm not too surprised. I get a really good amount of damage, not a KO, but still really solid. And what's the Houndstone going for? Gonna be Howl. Ooh, this is where it gets dangerous. That is a threat on the Roaring Moon. I could Cotton Spore here, or I could Tailwind. I kind of like the idea of Cotton Spore. Dude, I want to... Yeah, I do want a Cotton Spore here. Lower their speed. And then I think I want to go for... Do I want to protect here, or do I want to go on the... No, I'd rather take the offensive initiative. I'm going to go for a Hydro Steam into the... Should I just Flamethrower? Flamethrower does more, but they could go in a... Yeah, Flamethrower does more. Also, they could go Tyranitar. So, Cotton Spore here. Make sure that speed is lowered on the Roaring Moon and the Houndstone. We're going to see Acrobatics come out. Let's see who this is targeting. Is this going to be into... Okay, they targeted Whimsicott, which is perfect. Okay, so the reason I want to go for this combo is because I wanted to make sure I could get a Flamethrower off into the Roaring Moon and then Extreme Speed the following turn. If they went for the Walking Wake, I think I should KO with a Terra Normal Extreme Speed, so we're kind of fine there. Pain Split. Sure. Okay. We're going out into Entei here. And I can Terra Normal Extreme Speed. Granted, they still have some Sun turns, which is a little bit concerning, but I think I should be all right. Let's go for that Terra Normal Extreme Speed here, and let's go for a... I want to Hydro Steam the Houndstone, and yeah, I'll just go for the Hydro Steam and the Houndstone. So we have Terra Normal pressuring the Roaring Moon, which is basically what I wanted. I don't have to worry about Fake Out. There's no redirection on this team, so the Roaring Moon's always pinned by this Terra Normal Extreme Speed, and that's kind of what I wanted damage-wise. If they had targeted down the Walking Wake and picked up the Knockout, then I'm pretty sure I could just go for a Tailwind, and because of the Cotton Spore from earlier, I outspeed, could go for like Flare Blitz and pick up a Knockout. So regardless, like I felt like I was in a really good situation. Granted, I probably could have been a better one with just having my own Tailwind, but I still don't think this is too bad. So we will go for Extreme Speed into the Roaring Moon. Looks like no protects. I do just pick up the Knockout Roaring Moon. Excellent. So that is gone. And let's see what I need to do to clean up this end game, because they didn't protect, so I don't have to worry about Last Respect. And I do outspeed because of the Cotton Spore from earlier. Hydro Steam, the lag animation. Yeah. All right. So I don't have to worry about Last Respect endgame. Let's see if one of their Pokemon's Incineroar. Hydro Steam just picks as a knockout because they did have the Terra already burned on the Roaring Moon. And then let's see what the last Pokemon is. If it's Tyranitar, I think I'm fine. I just get Extreme Speed damage. Yeah, Tyranitar is the last, which is okay. Primarina, all right. I do want to focus down the Primarina with Extreme Speed and put on a lot of pressure to Primarina. Most of this wears off because of this reset, but it's a lesser Tailwind. This Extreme Speed is going to hurt a ton, so just going to go for Extreme Speed Protect on this last turn. If they're dragging as Tyranitar, then that's concerning. But I don't really want... yeah, if it's dragging as, that's like the one thing that can screw me up here. Let's see. No protects, Extreme Speed. Good amount of damage to Primarina. Okay, it's just Rock Slide being fired off here, which is perfect. I wonder their policy. Alluring Voice. What? I'm unfamiliar with that move. Throat Spray, okay. Is that just a water move? I actually don't know what Alluring is, but I actually will look it up because I might as well. I mean, my play is pretty much set. Like, I always go for the Primarina with the Extreme Speed, and I go for a Hydro Steam into the Tyranitar, and then, like, Flutter Mane setup will be pretty solid here, but I have never seen Alluring Voice before. So Tyranitar going to protect, which is an interesting play. I guess they might expect me to double because the Primarina either can't protect, but yeah, like this is good by Primarina, and yeah, there really is not much that they can do. Oh, it's a fairy move that confuses targets if they had a stat rise this turn, but Unfortunately for them, Drone Spray doesn't work like that because Drone Spray works after you use the move. So you have to get the stat boost before you use the move. So just not working out there. But yeah, the game is over. I click extreme speed. Actually, I should preserve this, right? Okay, so what are the options? They crit me on the Flutter Mane switch. And actually, no, I think I do want to lock in extreme speed because they could be policy, and if there's policy, it's really bad. I'd rather just Hydro Steam and go for extreme speed. Because I'm thinking, like, I'm weighing my options, and then, like, Flutter Mane. The problem is, if I switch to Flutter Mane as policy Tyranitar and I don't KO it with the Hydro Steam, then it's really bad. Sure, I could go for Draco Meteors or Draco Meteor, but I can miss, and then Moonblast might not pick up the knockout on Tyranitar, and then it's still like a Rock Slide endgame, and they can protect to stall out the sand to knock out my Entei, so I think I had to risk it being Dragon Dance. Thankfully, it's not Dragon Dance, probably, so I am able to pick up the knockout on Entei. Also, like, I don't think Tyranitars really have run Dragon Dance at all, really, in the Scarlet Violet meta, so I wasn't, like, too worried about that, but yeah, I should be able to win with Flutter Mane now. This Tyranitar needs some crazy endgame factors, specifically, like, Quick Claw, Rock Slide Flinch, another attack, or like a crit, or something with Quick Claw. I think has to be like their end game win. But Moonblast will finish off the Tyranitar. That'll be a good game. I guess I should have flamethrowered the Houndstone because it would have actually picked up the knockout. I actually didn't think I was gonna do as much, and I want to cover like Tyranitar or like Incineroar switch. But yeah, I guess I should just flamethrower because I would have knocked it out, and then I probably should have Tailwind it instead. Tailwind would have probably been safer over Cotton Spore, but regardless, still was able to pull out a really strong endgame. Like the Walking Wake next to Entei really put in some work because whatever I couldn't KO with Wake, I had extreme speed for the endgame to like really chip away at my opponent. All right, let's go over the games. In game 1, denied the Auroraville and was able to sweep with Walking Wake under Sun after Flutter Mane heavily damaged the lead. In game 2, was able to use Walking Wake to pressure the Incineroar and eliminate a Terra on top of it, letting Metagross under Sun being very hard for my opponent to damage. In game 3, Sun was a bit weird to deal with, but the Assault Vest Metagross was able to tank attacks with its Terra Dragon, as my opponent had no damage output under Trick Room, stalling out their own turns. In game 4, was able to do massive damage with Walking Wake and position Choice Band Extreme Speed from Entei to clean up or do massive damage for my endgame Flutter Mane. I mean, Walking Wake definitely has a lot of potential with that Protosynthesis. That Hydro Steam hits pretty hard. That Sunny Day option with Flutter Mane and Whimsicott, I think it's really, really nice, especially Cotton Spore, where Whimsicott has so many good options with support, like Encore, Fake Tears, all those options that Torn doesn't get. Whimsicott definitely has a niche in the upcoming format. We'll see if Walking Wake is legal, but if you do want to check out the team in the meantime, you can check it out in the description down below. The rental code is on the screen if you do want to try it out. And of course, you could subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.